Someone recently left a comment on one of my videos. Can you comment in regard to writing about something you had been thinking about for years and thought was a somewhat novel concept, only to find someone has already written a book on the same subject? So then you're left wondering if you have anything of value to offer on it. This is somewhat discouraging. The subject is an overview and explanation of an element of design work that is often overlooked in architecture. Thank you. If you feel like this writer, I'd like to encourage you to consider a few things. The first thing is this: forget about novelty. The things that you write, the art that you make, the book that you want to write doesn't have to be about something original, novel, something extraordinary. What I write about is what excites me. I write about things that excite me, things that interest me. This is the first thing. This is what I do when I write. This is why I'm making this video as well. I'm not making this video to be original. I'm making this video because this is something that excites me. It's something that I'm interested in, and I feel that I have something to say. So it's, as I said this many times, it's hard to come up with original ideas, things that no one said before. That's very, I mean, we shouldn't even worry about those things. I often find that my excitement about a topic, about something that I want to write about, often makes me helps me explore ideas in more depth. And this, in turn, helps me come up with original ideas. Sometimes, not often. But sometimes, because I'm so excited about a topic, I find that excitement then helps me come up with original ideas. And the originality, I see originality as the rare product of excitement and interest. So it doesn't matter if someone has already written a book about that. It doesn't matter if they've already published a study on something that you want to research. That doesn't matter. If that excites you, well, you should do it. What's the point of living this life? We have a very short life available. So I see the point of doing anything in life is to do something that makes us happy. And as long as, the things that make you happy don't hurt you, because, okay, maybe heroin makes you happy. Well, but that's, that hurts you. So that's not a very good idea. As long as what makes you happy doesn't hurt other people and doesn't hurt you, well, then that's what I think we must do. We must pursue. So don't worry about being original, about being extraordinary. Write about that topic. If it excites you, don't worry about algorithms. Don't worry about publishing, becoming a best-selling author. Write about what makes you happy. This is the first thing. The second thing is this. Let me have a look at my notes. Okay, you're not them. You're not them. So this writer, the writer who published that book, is not you, and you are not that writer. Try this experiment. Ask your friend or your partner to sit down with you and write a paragraph about your living room. Do this exercise together. Give yourself 5 minutes and write a paragraph about your living room. Look at the two paragraphs. Are they the same? Do you think they will be the same? No, they will never be the same. Why? Because we experience the world in different ways. No two people experience the world in exactly the same way. No two minds will ever be identical. So the things that we make, the writing that we produce, will never be the same as another person. This is already enough, I think, to motivate you to write. So this is the second thing that I wanted to tell you. The third thing is this, and I need to have a look at my notes. You're lucky. Yeah. You're lucky. Imagine, I wrote a book about language learning. You can't even imagine how many people have written and spoken about language learning before me. Maybe you're in this industry, in the language learning industry, and you know, but I mean, you can't imagine how many books, like many of those books are about language learning. It's unimaginable, unimaginable. And is this a reason why, I mean, is this an excuse not to say something more about the topic? I don't think it is. Because when I published my book, when I wrote my stories, I wanted to contribute to the global discussion on language learning with what I had to say. And what I had to say was based on my stories, which made my message unique, because only one person in the world has the experience and the stories that I have. And that person, of course, is me. And so if you want to write about something, but you feel, they've already written about these things, well, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Also, you're lucky because if you found out that only one person has written about that topic, well, you're very lucky because you're the second person in the world who's going to do that. Imagine how much there is to say, how many angles you can explore the topic, how many perspectives, how many stories you can tell about this topic. Imagine if the second Australian explorer in the 19th century said something like, "Oh, I won't go into the outback. I won't go into the continent to explore because one person has already done that." Imagine if scientists stopped exploring the universe, the oceans, or the causes of diabetes because of the same reason. Because, so many other people have already published a study on the causes of diabetes. Well, you can understand that this is not a reason not to contribute to the discussion, right? Even if people have already talked about that. And this is why you're lucky. If you found out that one person has written about that topic, only one person, well, you're the second. You're very lucky. There are so many things that you can say. Then, let me see my notes here. Tiny fractions. Okay. This is about, okay, the Bible. The Bible is one of the most popular books in the history of books. The Quran is the same. Over the years, hundreds and hundreds of years, these books have only reached some people, not everyone. They haven't reached me because I haven't read any. I haven't read either of these books. I haven't read the Bible. I haven't read the Quran. I mean, people used to read the Bible to me in church when I was young, but I never listened because it was too boring for me. 11 years old, listening to these stories, boring. Anyway, but they have reached only some people, only a tiny fraction, relatively tiny fraction of people, of readers. And I mean, even bestsellers, I don't know how many copies a book needs to sell in order to become a bestseller, but I don't think it's 8 billion. I don't think it's even 1 billion. It might be in the order of probably thousands, millions, maybe. 5 million. Okay, 5 million copies sold. Well, what about the the rest of the world. The rest of the world, you know, that book didn't reach all the other people. So this is to say that any book by any author has the limited capacity of reaching a tiny fraction, relatively tiny fraction of people, of the people who read books. Not all people, people who read books, people who are interested in one specific topic. You, with your book, with your blog post, with your art, you can reach the next tiny fraction. So I hope this is a valid reason to keep writing, to keep putting your ideas out there. If you have ideas you want to share, of course. And a million ways, this is the next point. There are a million ways to write about the same topic. A million ways. You can write about a topic by using informal language, academic language. You can address only one specific reader, so only experts, only people who don't know anything about the topic. You can write a book or whatever you want to write, addressing as if you were speaking to a 3-year-old, as succinctly as possible, as extensively as possible. There are a million ways. I can go on and on with this. So, because one person or many people have already written about what you want to write about, well, there are so many different styles to explore. There are different formats. There are the genre even can change. The topic stays the same, but what surrounds the topic changes, and that's what you can explore, right? Also, let's say, last example, and then I'll end this video. Let's say that you and I want to write about the history of Rome. Maybe we have the same knowledge, okay? We know the same things about the history of Rome. But the interpretation of that knowledge will change, because I see the world differently than from you. And that interpretation may be based on the books that I've read about Rome, on what my friends told me about Rome, about my trips I made to Rome. So there are so many variables. I don't know if this is a word. Variables, probably. So there are different ways to explore a topic, different ways to interpret the same knowledge that you have, that different people have about a topic. And this leads me to the conclusion of this video, which is, I hope you will write that book. I hope that you will get down to writing, to expressing what you know, and without worrying about being original, without worrying about, will this be a bestseller? Well, you cannot know. You will never know. You do it. The first reason why you do it is because it makes you happy. It makes you excited. It interests you. How can you write about something that you're not interested in? That would be boring. That would be even impossible. I stopped writing about language learning about 1 year ago because I got bored about talking about language learning. Before, it used to excite me, but after 50 blog posts on how to learn a language, after a book that I wrote on how to learn a language, I got bored about the topic. And even if the algorithm says, oh, people want to know, they want this, but if it doesn't excite me, how can I give my best? How can I express myself in the most excited way? I hope you will write that book. And thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye. Thanks for listening. Thank you for watching. If you're a writer and you want to improve your writing, or you want to keep improving your writing, consider joining my private email list, Better Writers. I send one short email every week. I share tips, insights, things that I learn, book recommendations to help you do one thing only: become a better writer. The link is in the show notes or in the description of this video. Thank you for listening once again. I'll see you in the next episode. Bye-bye.